if you have missed out any favorite show of your any favorite RJs. No worry guys, you can go on your YouTube app and search for Radio Udan. Just subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon button for our more latest infotainment videos about the disabled community. Stay tuned and keep listening on Radio Udan, a flight of life. Happy listening!
This show is brought to you by National Center for Promotion of Employment for Disabled People.
जी हाँ दोस्तों, नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। मैं दानिश महाजन प्रोग्राम बदलता दौर में आपका स्वागत करता हूं। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, हर सप्ताह हम आपको मिलवाते हैं एक एनसीपी ईडीपी जावेद विधि फेलो से। हम नेशनल सेंटर फॉर द प्रमोशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट फॉर डिसेबल्ड पीपल के साथ मिलकर कोलैबोरेशन कर रहे हैं, जिसमें जो लोग जावेद विधि फेलोशिप कर रहे हैं, डिसेबिलिटी के अलग अलग टॉपिक्स पर रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, उनसे हम आपको मिलवाते हैं। आज के जो हमारे मेहमान हैं वो है निखिलेश्वर गुगनानी साहब। ये इकोनॉमिक ऑनर्स में ग्रेजुएट हैं, एनसीपी ईडीपी जावेद विधि फेलो हैं और साथ ही साथ यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट है। इनका जो स्टडी का टॉपिक है वो है एम्पावरिंग पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज थ्रू इंक्लूसिव हायर एजुकेशन। तो जानेंगे इनसे इस टॉपिक पर। निखिलेश्वर जी, रेडियो उड़ान पर आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
धन्यवाद दानिश जी। Thank you for inviting me to this show and have a conversation on the topic of inclusive higher education in the platform which itself is inclusive, that is Radio Udan.
तो निखिलेश्वर जी, अब हमें ये बताएं, why did you join this fellowship? What was the motivation behind it? आपको कहाँ से पता चला इस फेलोशिप के बारे में, और साथ ही साथ थोड़ा अपने बारे में भी बताएं।
दानिश जी, I would like to also point out here the word inclusive. As of now, it is being used very limitedly. That is, inclusive in the context of students with disabilities. We are just relating it with accessible infrastructure or sign language or Braille or the 5% reservation. So now in the 21st century decade, the word inclusive should also touch the uncharted territories, that is, participation of students with disabilities in student election, participation of students with disabilities in STEM education, participation in internship, participation in extracurricular activities. So, in a nutshell, I could say inclusive is just being seen as a bird's eye view as of now, and it is the time to take a dragonfly eye view. That is, ड्रैगन की जिस तरह आंखों में 1000 लेंसेस होते हैं, this is the time we also see the inclusive word with a multiple lenses and good aperture, and this is how we would be making the world really inclusive for students. सवाल 2, दानिश जी, आप मेरे इंट्रोडक्शन तो पहले ही दे चुके हैं। हालांकि मैं उस इंट्रोडक्शन में थोड़ा सा स्पेसिफिक जाके अपने कंपटीशन एंड प्राइजेस और उसी के साथ साथ कुछ पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस ऑफ द इंटर्नशिप भी शेयर करना चाहूँगा। सो आई हैव वॉन द प्राइज एट द इंस्टीट्यूशन इनोवेशन काउंसिल बाय मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड was finalist at the Faculty of Management Studies competition organized by State Bank of India in State Bank case study itself. So this experience has greatly contributed to my understanding of pragmatic policy formulation. और कहीं ना कहीं ये पॉलिसी के इसमें ही आप समझ सकते हैं कि मैं फेलोशिप क्यों ज्वाइन करना चाह रहा था, राइट? सो दिस इज द मेन मोटिव. फर्दर, to professionalize my interest, I have worked at the NewsX Global Youth Platform and the Atal Incubation Center. This also helped me to develop the same qualities. However, this was in a professional way. Now, moving to the second half of the question, that is, what motivates me and how do I find this? So, I am very active at LinkedIn, and the same platform helped me to achieve this opportunity. Well, since I have talked about the LinkedIn, I would like to give a personal opinion here that LinkedIn is popular among urban areas, however unpopular among rural area. So I would recommend to all the listeners that please be active at LinkedIn. It helps us to get the opportunities. I am highlighting this opinion since many students come by me and just ask about the one question, that how I will get the opportunity like internship, employment, job, or any other competition like these things. So I would just say the one-stop solution for this is LinkedIn. Every opportunity is being posted there in a channelized way. That is, अगर मैं सोशल सेक्टर के कोई कंपटीशन या सोशल सेक्टर की कोई इंटर्नशिप को चाह रहा हूँ तो मुझे वही मिलेगी, क्योंकि मैं फॉलो ही ऐसे लोगों को करूँगा. एंड people are very kind enough to help you there. You message the CEO of organization or you message the HR of the organization. They will help you to get the employment at their organization, or they will help you to channelize your CV. So you will be getting help somehow or other. So this is the main motive of being active at LinkedIn. Now moving to the second half of the question, that is, what motivates you to choose this fellowship? So there are two factors. First is diversity of fellows. That is, fellows का सिलेक्शन नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया से भी हुआ है, साउथ इंडिया से भी हुआ है. So we never forget the diversity factor in our work, which is very important. Now the second factor is diversity of topics and therein specificity. That is, मेरा टॉपिक इंक्लूसिव हायर एजुकेशन है. Similarly, some of the co-fellows have topic on STEM education or higher secondary education. So this helps us to connect and work mutually and complete the whole education system inclusively.
तो निखिलेश्वर जी, why did you choose only this topic? तो निखिलेश्वर जी, why did you choose only this topic?
My research topic is empowering students with disabilities through inclusive higher education. Why I have chosen this topic could be explained by my college experiences. So this could be understood in two arenas. First is college experience in personal capacity, and second is experiences in professional capacity. So talking about the professional one, it was a great learning experiences. As I earlier said, I have won case study competition, actively also participating in the quiz competition. Besides this, my lovingness for economics was also great. When moving to the personal life at Delhi, it was okayish in the first year of college life. However, moving to second and third year, it gradually improved. It was improved due to the recommendation and guidance that I have received from the mentors, professors, faculties, non-teaching staff as well. So this whole set of recommendation I have implemented and follow it thoroughly in the upcoming years of life. With all this upliftment that I have had, it was not unnoticed. The professor told me to go to the enabling unit and guide the other students, make the peer group. Since not many persons with disabilities are open to the seniors or mentors or guidance from the non-teaching staff. So it was required, and I have facilitated this skill to the students, and this is how I start generating the skill to understand the student, especially person without disabilities, and chosen the topic of higher education. Herein also I work with student, but now often more work is being done at the back end, that is working with the UGC, working with the Department of Higher Education, and not at the front end like the college life. But the thing is, front end or back end, काम तो स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ही हो रहा है, काम उनके हित में ही हो रहा है, एंड विच इज़ माई फोर्टे आई वुड से।
निखिलेश्वर जी, अब हम जानना चाहते हैं आपकी मेथोडोलॉजी क्या रही इस रिसर्च में।
The research method that I have employed for my baseline survey was the primary survey or primary study and secondary study. In the primary study, 26 youth with disabilities participated from 3 colleges of the university, and in the secondary study, I have intake the research studies from many universities including foreign education system as well. Not just this, I have also talked with many fellows who are from the rural area and analyzed their universities and colleges therein, so that the whole pan India can be covered largely and the recommendation from the foreign universities can be studied and inserted in the baseline survey. Now, moving to the findings and analysis, the 4 questions that I have inserted in the survey. First is enrollment rate. What is the enrollment rate in the Pan India universities? What is the enrollment rate in the Betul Madhya Pradesh colleges? Second question is knowledge of fundamental right and other statutory right of students with disabilities. Third was serviceability, distribution and training of assistive device. So in this question you can analyze that I have not just taken distribution of assistive device. हमें बहुत सारे NGOs, बहुत सारी CSR एक्टिविटीज से डिवाइस तो मिल जाते हैं, बट व्हाट अबाउट देयर ट्रेनिंग? आई हैव ऑल्सो इनटेक दिस फैक्टर, राइट? क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, which involves availability and redressal rating of grievances. These were my study questions that I have inserted in the survey.
निखिलेश्वर जी, अब हमें आप अपनी स्टडी की फाइंडिंग्स बताएं।
Now, moving to the specific data about these 4 questions, starting with the first of 4, that is enrollment rate. Herein, it came to my notice that 14,000 students were missing from higher education in the year 2018 and 19. How I bring this data is subtracting the enrollment in higher education from the enrollment in higher secondary. This is how I came with the list of missing students in higher education in the last 5 years. Other than this report, I have also analyzed, according to the Parliamentary Committee report, no students with disability availed free coaching scholarship scheme from 2019 to 2022. Contrastingly, students with disabilities का participation in the government examination are huge, और कोचिंग इंडस्ट्री का गवर्नमेंट एग्जामिनेशन में पार्टिसिपेशन होना वो भी एक अच्छी मात्रा में हो रहा है. तो वाई आर नॉट स्टूडेंट्स टेकिंग बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ दिस गवर्नमेंट स्कीम? दिस इज द क्वेश्चन दैट वी हैव टू पुट फॉरवर्ड. हाउएवर, एनी हाउ वी कैन से दैट गवर्नमेंट की स्कॉलरशिप फ्रॉम द किंडरगार्टन टू द लेवल ऑफ PhD बहुत ही होलिस्टिकली डेवलप की गई है. सभी स्कॉलरशिप है. However, the beneficiaries are very limited. We have to increase this, and the whole idea of establishing the enabling unit, the whole idea of establishing the redressal rating grievances cell can solve this problem. This were my recommendation for this. Now moving to the second question of fundamental rights and other statutory rights. So in this, the primary study response showed that 32.7% of the respondents were aware of their rights. What about the rest percent that are missing about this knowledge, about this basic rights? हम बुनियादी हमारे हक को जब जानेंगे तभी तो उसके खिलाफ कंप्लेन लेंगे. Because of this, the complaints are not being filed. So we have to take this issue in the cognizance and work upon it. Third question in the finding is about serviceability, distribution and training of assistive device. So here as well, government की schemes are holistically made, that is no GST indirect taxes on assistive device, free distribution किया जाता है, no cost renting facility at the colleges, और साथ ही साथ करेक्टिव सर्जरीज whenever required before providing an assistive device is also been facilitated. Regarding this, our survey showed that distribution was very effective. However, only 39% from the assistive device beneficiaries were trained on the effective usage of assistive devices. So, distribution तो हो गया, अब ट्रेनिंग की जरूरत है. We have to move one step forward. Moving to the last and the fourth question, that is availability and redressal rating of the grievances. Herein, I have not just take the legal compliance as a factor but also intake academic performance. जैसे कि स्टूडेंट्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज को कंपनसेटरी टाइम एलोकेट होता है एग्जाम में. हाउएवर इन सम केसेस आई हैव फाउंड दैट जो इंटरनल एग्जाम्स होते हैं, इंटरनल टेस्ट होते हैं क्लासेस में, उसमें स्टूडेंट्स को टाइम नहीं दिया जाता है, बट उसका रिजल्ट फाइनल रिजल्ट पे अफेक्ट डालता है. सो वी हैव टू टेक दिस इनटू अकाउंट. विथ दिस आई वुड से द कंप्लेंट इज सीमिंगली वेरी स्मॉल, पर इसका इम्पैक्ट बहुत बड़ा है. सो वी हैव टू इनटेक ऑल द एकेडमिक प्रॉब्लम एज वेल. वी हैव टू इनटेक द equality as well, the inclusivity benefits of everyone as well. These are the legal problems of person with disabilities. We have to consider this and resolve this. With this, I have completed all my finding and its analysis.
तो सर आपने कैटेगराइज किया बहुत ही खूबसूरती से इन चीजों को, तो इस पर अब आपकी रिकमेंडेशंस क्या रहेंगी?
In this part, I have asked the question with myself, why are the students with disabilities missing from the India's Educational Institute? To answer this, I have divided the whole study in two factors. First is accessibility inhibiting factor, जिसमें inaccessible infrastructure, lack of health infrastructure and rehabilitation measure, lack of assistive device and their training as well. तो ये सब फर्स्ट फैक्टर में हो गए. सेकेंड इज ग्रेडिंग इनहिबिटिंग फैक्टर. इसमें पेरेंटल एक्सपेक्टेशन, ट्रांजिशन ऑफ स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम एजुकेशन टू एम्प्लॉयमेंट, स्टूडेंट का रिजल्ट क्या होता है, उनकी एकेडमिक परफॉर्मेंस क्या होती है ओवरऑल, वो सब कंसिडर किया है. सो कंसिडरिंग दिस फैक्टर्स आई हैव केम अपॉन दी 3 रिकमेंडेशन. फर्स्ट इज valuing disability as an integral part of our rich diversity. Herein, it is essential for people with disabilities to accurately represent themselves, to lead their lives free from guilt, shame associated with the reservation, or the fear of discrimination. So, we have to solve the identity crisis of the students with disability. They have their duty to represent themselves truly. कन्वर्सली जिन्हें इनविजिबल डिसेबिलिटीज रहती है, वो कहीं ना कहीं एक एबलिस्ट क्राउड में खो जाते हैं. दे आर ग्रेपलिंग विद द ट्रस्ट इशूज, राइट, बिकॉज वो अपनी डिसेबिलिटी को क्लेम नहीं कर पाते हैं. पीपल कंसिडर देमसेल्फ एज दे आर वेरी परफेक्ट, बट दे आर नॉट. दिस इज वेयर द पब्लिक रोल कम एक्टिव. नाउ मूविंग टू सेकेंड, दैट इज डेवलपिंग एडवोकेटिंग एंड लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज. Herein, there is need to empower youth with disability to participate in the student election to represent themselves. Election में participation करना is not hard. You can go to any students party or open your own agenda and raise the voice. Raise the voice with administration, with principal, with university vice chancellor. Other than this, internal complaint committee भी हर कॉलेज में होनी चाहिए अकॉर्डिंग टू दी सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट इन दी डिसेबिलिटी राइट्स ग्रुप वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया. अभी कंप्लेन कमिटी इज नॉट प्रेजेंट इन एवरी कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी, सो स्टूडेंट्स उसके लिए भी रेज कर सकते हैं वॉइस एंड सेट अप द कमिटी, राइट. द थर्ड रिकमेंडेशन इज holistically promoting the participation of students with disability in all aspects of campus life and across discipline. Herein, the accommodative flexibility rule should be implemented. That is, disability related service should be personalified. हर एक स्टूडेंट को आप एक ही तरह ट्रीट नहीं कर सकते. एवरी पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटी हैव देयर ओन रिक्वायरमेंट. जस्ट टू से ऑटिज्म स्पेक्ट्रम डिसऑर्डर, उसमें बहुत सारे स्पेक्ट्रम होते हैं. फ्यू ऑटिज्म स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑल्सो हैविंग इंटेलिजेंट ऑटिज्म, जिसमें दे कैन रिमेंबर दी वेरियस थिंग. वो जो भी पढ़ते हैं अधिकतर चीज़ें रिकॉल कर सकते हैं. ऑन द अदर हैंड कुछ स्पेक्ट्रम इतने फंक्शनली डिसेबल्ड होते हैं कि वो बोल भी नहीं पाते हैं अच्छे से. सो accommodative flexibility rule have to be implemented. Other than this, awareness session have to be held by the colleges. This were the 3 recommendations that I have had for the various stakeholder of the education department.
ग्रेट. तो गुगनानी साहब, अब हमें ये बताएं कि एनसीपी ईडीपी जावेद विदी फेलोशिप कितनी इम्पोर्टेंट है. क्या आपको लगता है कि ऐसी फेलोशिप्स और होनी चाहिए? और जो मैंने आपसे नहीं पूछा, जो आप लिसनर्स के साथ शेयर करना चाहते हैं, वो भी आप अपनी बात यहाँ रख सकते हैं.
This fellowship personally played a very significant role in my life, as in the 3rd year of college I start helping the disabled student. When it comes to helping in the formalized way, ये informal way तो चल ही रहा है बहुत जगह, which is a volunteer work. But the duties of the responsible person have to be taken into the cognizance, और वो चीज़ उनसे करवाना है, so that from the first year of college life, just to say मेरा first year was not very positive, so वो first year से ही एक positive result generate करना चालू कर देगी, because the responsible person will be accountable. So we have to establish the responsible authorities, we have to make them accountable as well. Just to say, अभी कुछ ही समय पहले I was advocating with the Rajashankar Saha Vishwavidyalaya administration to establish enabling unit therein. And we just not establish a unit there. We also work to employ a career counselor so that the emotional well-being of the students can be managed. Further, this fellowship also played a large role to connect the fellows with the association which are already working with the respective department. So this help us to ease the work that we are doing. Just to say, अभी मैं स्टूडेंट इलेक्शन पे काम कर रहा हूँ. So in the Lingdo committee which was set up in 2008 for the student election guideline, उसको रिफॉर्म करने के लिए this association NCPDP is helping me to bridge a contact between me and the Department of Higher Education and UGC, that is University Grant Commission. So this is how हमारा काम आसान हो जाता है कहीं ना कहीं, और हमें एक फॉर्मलाइज तरीके से सब चीज़ों को करने का तरीका भी मिलता है और चीज़ें होती भी वैसे ही है. दानिश जी, अब मैं लिसनर्स के साथ कुछ मेरा पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस, पास्ट वर्किंग शेयर करना चाहूँगा और वो मुझसे कैसे जुड़ सकते हैं वो भी साझा करना चाहूँगा. सो आई हैव फाउंडेड द एसोसिएशन कॉल्ड डिसेबिलिटी कल्चर. दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट एसोसिएशन इन इंडिया to build and support inclusive higher education. The ultimate goal is to increase the enrollment of youth with disability in formal college education, और जो missing 14,000, 15,000, 16,000 अप्रॉक्स नंबर थे उसको ब्रिज करना है. हालांकि वो ब्रिज करना is not possible if we work in isolation of increasing the enrollment. We also have to show their parents, show the missing students parents that कॉलेज से आपके बच्चे को, आपके बच्ची को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिल सकता है. हाउ द स्टूडेंट्स कैन प्ले द स्पोर्ट्स देयर इन, हाउ द स्टूडेंट्स विद डिसेबिलिटी कैन ऑल्सो पार्टिसिपेट इन द क्विज कॉम्पिटिशन. सो हम वो चीज़ों को भी ब्रिज कर रहे हैं बाय एस्टेब्लिशिंग द इनेबलिंग यूनिट, बाय वर्किंग विद द इनेबलिंग यूनिट टू conduct the activities very inclusively, and we are also creating the cross disability network and conducting awareness workshop few discourse agenda in the past where discourse between youth with disabilities and youth without disabilities. So herein you can see हम लोग सिर्फ डिसेबल्ड स्टूडेंट्स के लिए काम नहीं करते हैं, हम विदाउट डिसेबिलिटी को भी अवेयरनेस जनरेट करते हैं that how can you make friends with disabled people, disabled students, and further उनमें disability language और एक etiquette build करना. Further, as of now, I am working on the campaign called Disability Visibility in Leadership. उसमें we are working with the student parties, that is ABVP, NSUI, ISA और UGC और डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन के साथ भी काम कर रहे हैं कि जो लिंगडो कमिटी विच इज़ फॉर द स्टूडेंट इलेक्शन गाइडलाइन उसको कैसे आप RPWD एक्ट 2016 के साथ इनलाइन बना सकते हैं. सो दिस इज हाउ वी आर मेकिंग द कॉलेज एन इंक्लूसिव प्लेस.
Thank you so much, Nikhleshwar ji, for being a part of this show. We thoroughly enjoyed.
थैंक यू.
तो लिसनर्स, आज हमने बात की निखिलेश्वर जी से, जिन्होंने इंक्लूसिव हायर एजुकेशन के बारे में बताया. अगले सप्ताह होगी मुलाकात एक और जावेद अबीदी फेलो के साथ. कैसे लग रही है आपको ये सीरीज, हमें जरूर बताएं यूट्यूब पे कमेंट करके. तब तक सुनते रहिए रेडियो उड़ान फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ. अगले सप्ताह होगी मुलाकात एक और जावेद अबीदी फेलो के साथ. बाय बाय.